Have you ever seen a vampire?
John Carpenter's Vampires stars James Woods, Daniel Baldwin, and Cheryl Lee, and is directed by John Carpenter. After their whole crew is murdered, vampire slayers Jack Crow and Anthony Montoya head out on an eventual journey to find the vampire Jan Valek, who is responsible. Along with the two vampire slayers is Katrina, who is played by Cheryl Lee. Now, earlier in the movie, she was bit by this lead vampire and now has telepathic connection with this vampire, and she's able to figure out his location. Now, there's also a personal tie between James Woods' character and finding this vampire. You find out earlier in the film, or it might have been later in the film, I don't remember, somewhere in the film, you find out that Jack Crow's parents were murdered by vampires. So to him, it's a personal vendetta. Also, you find out that this lead vampire is trying to find this old Catholic relic, this black cross, which if he finds it is able, all vampires are able to walk in sunlight, basically being unstoppable and eventually ruling the world. So they have a time crunch. They need to find this vampire, destroy him before he finds this cross. I really enjoyed this movie. I'll actually say, like, growing up, I'd only seen a handful of John Carpenter movies, and to be completely honest with you, I didn't really remember too many of them, except for like the exception of Halloween. I've seen Halloween, numerous times, but other than that, the ones that I did see, I don't really remember. I'm going back now as an adult and rewatching a lot of his films, and I had to tell you, every time I watch a new one of his films, whether I'd seen it in the past and it's just, or either one I've watched in the past or one that I've seen for the first time right now, every time I watch his stuff, I just become more and more of a fan. And this movie's no exception. This movie was shot in New Mexico, and right away, just even from the first opening scene, which is absolutely outstanding, by the way, the first thing that popped in my head is, this reminds me of an old John Ford, John Wayne Western. And when I got done watching the movie, I was watching some of the behind-the-scenes documentary stuff, and the first thing out of John Carpenter's mouth was, I want to make like an old John Wayne, John Ford Western with vampires. I had to say, mission accomplished. This movie, yeah, every aspect of it reminded me of an old-school John Ford, John Wayne Western. The long landscape shots were absolutely beautiful. The color in the sky, the close-ups. There's a lot of scenes where people look like they're coming in, like it's a posse, coming to get them, a lot of close-up shots. Everything about it was done really, really well, especially the opening sequence. The first 20 minutes of this movie blew me away. Along with all the cinematography, the beautiful cinematography, which is mostly shot on wide-angle lenses, you have to mention the music, which I believe most of John Carpenter's movies are scored by John Carpenter himself. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are. And the soundtrack in this is absolutely fantastic as well. It mixes perfect. A perfect blend of visuals along with the music is just absolutely fantastic. Now, you should just be aware that there are some scenes in here that are kind of hard to watch. They're bloody, disgusting, just kind of gross. Not to mention the fact that Daniel Baldwin's character and James Woods' character, they're likable characters, but they're not the greatest guys on earth. To be honest with you, they're kind of pieces of shit. And some of the stuff that they do towards other characters in the movie is questionable, to say the least. So there are those aspects of the movie. It doesn't really ruin it, but it is something to be aware of. All in all, it's not my favorite John Carpenter movie, but it still is extremely enjoyable, and I would definitely watch it again, and I would definitely recommend it. Out of possible 5 jack-o'-lanterns, I give this 4. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to do more horror movie reviews over this Halloween season. If you enjoy this particular video, give it a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.